So be it. We hold on to it. We hold on. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jules, and I'm designing a theme park that's based on urban legends and folklore that make up the United States of America, and I'm calling it Urban Legends America Theme Park. So for the month of October, I am focusing on Halloween overlay concepts. And so the concept that I want to tackle today is a scare zone. If you don't know what a scare zone is, it's actually a very popular thing that bigger parks that run Halloween events do. So it's areas outside of scare houses that have scare actors and also platforms in place, and they're all different themes, and basically it's just used for guests to walk through and stay immersed in the Halloween feeling and scary-esque feeling that guests should experience as they walk through the park. So for my scare zone, I actually wanted to do something that's based off of the legend of Sleepy Hollow. If you've been around for a while, you'll probably remember that I actually did 2 videos last year that was all about this legend. It's one of my favorites, so I figured for this year I would bring it back, but do it with a different twist. So my idea was, rather than just do a retelling of the story for the scare zone, I actually wanted to do something where it takes place. I actually wanted to do something that takes place after Ichabod goes missing. Basically, it's this idea that after Ichabod Crane disappears, the townsfolk are now filled with not only fear, but also to worship the spirit of the Headless Horseman. So this scare zone is a look into how they honor this legend. This scare zone isn't just about jump scares, even though that is the basis for these scare zones. I really want it to be immersive like anything else in the park. I also wanted there to be some type of show woven into the storytelling. So if that sounds fun or scary or maybe just interesting, grab a snack, sit with me, and let's dive into the concept art for the Hollow Vigil scare zone. And let's go. Every Halloween season, just as twilight creeps across the land, the villagers of Sleepy Hollow prepare for the most sacred and most feared night of the year. A festival in full swing, but it feels wrong. They call it the Hollow Vigil, a harvest celebration built on centuries of superstition, secrets, and survival. Nestled between the entrance and the hub of the park, this scare zone transforms the colonial village into a fog-cloaked festival, part harvest fair, part living ghost story. Broken stalls line the square, filled with offerings, effigies, and masks. Jack-o'-lanterns flicker on every ledge, casting shadows that move, even when the villagers don't. Every villager wears a mask and a cloak, not for festivities, but for protection. The Headless Horseman, it's said, rides in search of the perfect head to replace the one he lost in battle. Not all faces are fit for him. They believe their masks are too twisted, too monstrous to tempt him. But outsiders, travelers without knowledge of the spirit's intentions, they're exactly what he's looking for. Beware the lantern bearers, the trickster children of the vigil carrying gourds, placing them around the area like a ward of some kind. Some warn you if you cross their paths. Others might see your potential. All of them are watching closely. Suddenly, the lights begin to dim. The wind picks up, the music stops. When the fire burns low and masks stop moving, he arrives. The crowd quiets. Villagers kneel but do not remove their masks. Guests are left standing. The villagers do not run. They do not speak. They do not reveal themselves. And out of the smoke, a tall, cloaked figure, headless, steps into the light of the square. The Headless Horseman appears not with fury, but with purpose. He isn't chasing prey, he's making a selection. He passes by the masked and the unmasked, the outsiders, the curious travelers. They are the one he favors. The lantern bearers gather around a single guest, surrounding them with their lanterns. The horseman has chosen the next soul to spirit away. Before we ride further into the fog, I want to pause beneath the lantern glow and offer something warmer than the fires burning in the hollow. A heartfelt thank you to the incredible souls over on my Patreon. Your support is the lantern that keeps this haunted path lit, sketch by sketch. Over on Patreon, you'll find early access videos, behind-the-scenes tales, and exclusive relics for the curious few who dare to wander deeper. It's always more fun when you help decide what legend we uncover next. So thank you again, truly, and thank you for considering joining me as a folklore enthusiast. Now tighten your cloak, the night's just getting started, and the Headless Horseman may be closer than you think. The Hollow Vigil is more than a scare zone. It's a trap dressed as tradition, a festival of fear held by people too terrified to stop. From the flicker of the lanterns to the stares behind every mask, the town is begging for one thing: that you, the guest, be chosen instead of them. I thought bringing the legend of Sleepy Hollow to the park in this way would be really fun. The idea of the townspeople now worshipping the horseman out of fear felt like an interesting twist to explore. I imagine the space being lit mostly by the ambient glow of lanterns, so that either be the lanterns that are attached to any of the facades that's in the area, but also the jack-o'-lanterns, candles, any ambient lighting from twinkling lights, and even the warm glow from actually inside the buildings, the show buildings. And so I wanted this to be able to create a warm, flickering light that also gives the area a sinister edge. So it's this balance between cozy and eerie. While scare zones are often focused on actors jumping out to get a quick reaction from the passing guest, I saw this one being more atmospheric, so letting the mood itself do most of the work instead of being loud or chaotic. It would be unsettling in its stillness, eerily quiet even. The main goal of a scare zone is to keep guests engaged as they move through the park, and I think this concept would do that really well, just in a different, more immersive way, especially if it's going to be at the front of the park, at the entrance of the park. I think that this is a fun way to actually get people in the mood rather than being immediately scared when coming in. In a broader sense, when thinking about Halloween overlays, it makes sense to move beyond just cryptids and use the season to explore other American legends. So, not just the usual ghost stories, but also our media, pop culture, and literature. Looking ahead, I can totally see Scare Zone and haunted houses drawing from modern legends. So, things like creepypastas or even analog horror. So even though we know that these legends or stories as a whole are fictional, I think they still hold merit. There are so many literary figures that have shaped our understanding of fear in folklore, from the Headless Horseman to the haunting works of Edgar Allan Poe. There's so much creative potential to explore, and Halloween overlay work feels like the perfect space to let that imagination run wild and bring them to life. All right, with all that being said, let's take a look at the final. It's not a good cup of coffee. but it's a cup of coffee. We'll just ride out with it. I don't like it. I don't think it's my best work. So yeah, this is my second one that I haven't really enjoyed. I think it was just one of those things where I was struggling to find an idea, and I had these images of these scare zones, but I don't think I could actually like visualize them in the park. And I think when it comes to the overlay stuff, I think I'm having an issue with focusing so much on the background, meaning like where this thing is going to take place, that all the added details, they like go to the wayside, which doesn't make any sense because the whole point is the details in this situation.
And here we go. I hope you're hungry for nothing.
So I'm a little disappointed that it didn't come out the way that I envisioned, like anything, to be honest. But again, there's going to be times where I'm not going to like my work. It's just what it is. I think it was also that I just wasn't in love with these concepts. I kept throwing around these ideas and it didn't really work. And at one point I kind of thought like, maybe I'll just scrap the entire thing and do something completely different. And maybe that's what I needed to do. Maybe that's just going to be the next video. I don't know. I just know that I didn't love it. I also think it kind of shows that I didn't love it. And I also think it shows that I did this in a time crunch. Just, I don't, I guess that there's not much to say about it other than I don't like how the concept came out, and I wasn't in love with the ideas or like the concept of different scare zones. So I guess that kind of reflects in the work. But yeah, I still think that some of them were interesting ideas, and I still think it's an interesting idea. I think I was just really having a hard time translating this vision because I can envision all these like smaller details, but when it comes to like a way to almost zoom out so that you get a better understanding of the entire story, I think it was just lost, unfortunately. But that's okay. We live and we learn, and I still like the idea. So, it's a learning thing. It's something to, get used to. So again, they're not all gonna be amazing, which is fine. But yeah. Anyway, let's just say, rambling aside, I like the concept and I really enjoy every little story piece that you can actually do with this, making it a scare zone, but also being able to implement a show within it. So I think that's a way to keep things engaging when it comes to the scare zones. So some people have like an actual initiative, not only to walk through these areas, but can also enjoy things in between, along with those scares and jump scares. So yeah, let's wrap up this video and I'll take you guys for the outro. If you stayed this long, maybe put in the comments, give me a pumpkin emoji. And then on top of that, if you want to, maybe you can comment something that you would want to see as a scare zone. Have you ever thought of doing scare zones when it comes to theme park stuff? Did you guys ever do Halloween Horror Nights or a different type of Halloween event where you got to experience some scare zones? Let me know in the comments below. If you like today's music, I highly suggest that you check out the Absinthetic Orchestra. Their work, along with a full album of Urban Legends America music, will be in the description below. You can also find all my socials and more work in the description as well. Until next time, stay spooky, everybody. Bye-bye.